Welcome to today's sprint. This is shaping up to be another fantastic weekend. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, and Russell. Verstappen, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Pierre Gasly. Button, Mick Schumacher, Maverick, and Tsunoda. Bottas, Latifi, Kevin Magnussen, and Alex Albon. Joe, Ticktum, Stroll, and Oscar Piastri. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
Okay, incredible parking there, nice one. That's going to give you the edge if you can get good launch as the race starts.
Formula One returns to Interlagos once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Sao Paulo Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and just 4 years later, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. We're racing today then at Interlagos, a historic 2.7-mile circuit and one of the few anti-clockwise tracks on the calendar. 15 corners in total, 9 to the left and 6 to the right, with a technical middle section opening up to a flat-out Sector 3. That gives us our best passing opportunity down into Turn 1. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Perez, Sainz, George Russell and Ricciardo, Gasly, Button, Tsunoda and Valtteri Bottas, Leclerc, Latifi, Daniel Ticktum and Joe, Stroll, Mick Schumacher, Kevin Magnussen and Oscar Piastri, Albon, Verstappen, Ocon. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Maverick. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching out for as they head into Turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into Turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
That, another year of Formula One draws to a close and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers. It was a tough race at times, but they've held on to take a great victory for McLaren today. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Between our championship leader and the rest of the standings. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
The Constructors' Championship may be a foregone conclusion at the moment, but regardless, let's look at the standings. So then, Ferrari have now moved out of sight and out of reach. It's another triumph for the Italian team as they claim the World Constructors' Championship. There was also a strong showing from the Mercedes team today as they make their way up the standings. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action, but with more races lined up. Be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Yeah.